All right, I am going to you live right now to talk about the launch of my new book, The Musical Realm. I am so excited. I'm sharing this on my social media pages right now. Let me quickly just check the sound and the audio, make sure everything looks okay, make sure everything sounds okay. I'll come in here. Oh, that's okay. Good. All right. For everyone who is watching, I am live right now, and I am talking about my new book, The Musical Realm. The official launch day is today, and I am so excited, and I can't wait for you to read this book. It is available as a Kindle or ebook on every single distribution site out there. It's available as a paperback book on every platform as well. It's also available as a hardback copy. So you can go to Amazon, you can go to iTunes, you can go to Apple, you can go over to Google Play, you can visit Kobo, whatever platform you like to purchase off of, whether it's barnesandnoble.com or walmart.com. My book is available from every single location. And so I can't wait to share this book with you. Today is the launch day. I would love to have you put this on your wish list for Amazon. I would love to have you add it to your wish list or your reading list on Goodreads. It's on Goodreads right now. But I wanted to talk about this today, and I have a special offer. Every day this week, I'm going to give away 5 free PDF copies of this book to those who are listening to my channel, and I'm going to give away 1 paperback book every single day. So someone will receive the paperback version. I will mail that to you for free, and then 5 separate people will receive the PDF version that I will email to you. And that's going to happen every single day this week. Let me quickly show you how to enter to win that. Let me go to my website right here. I'm going to share this. This is my website, musicmotivation.com. Now, on the website, this is the home page. When you go to musicmotivation.com, if you click on the image right here at the top of the page, it will take you to this new page right here. Now, the new page, let me actually share this tab right here. It's not popping up because I had a pop-up. So if I share this page right here, now this is what happens when you click on that book. And it says, enter to win a free PDF copy. So you can scroll down how you enter to win the free PDF copy. Remember, every day this week, I am going to give away 5 free PDF copies to 5 separate individuals who would like to read this book. Every day, I'm going to give away 1 paperback copy. I have an entire box of books over here. I'm going to mail out for free. 5 lucky winners this week will receive a paperback version. All you have to do is go to my website, click on that image on the home page. It will pop up and take you to this page where you can enter to win a free PDF copy. And then come down here. All you do is enter your email and then click Get Access Now. When you do that, the page will refresh. And then by clicking on that, you will actually be able to download the free sample PDF copy, which has the first 2 chapters from the book as a sample PDF copy. If you'd like, you can then purchase the PDF copy or the paperback copy from my website. But if I were to click on this, it would say Get Access Now. And then once it submits, and right now it's trying to submit, let me change the page because it won't actually allow me to. Oh, it did. It went through. Look at that. So right here, this is what happens. And it takes you to this home page right here. And then once you are on that page, it says download the individual PDF book below by clicking on the red button. So you can then click on the red button right there, and that will give you access to the book. Now, I'm going to come back over here to the home page where you can see me. Let me share one more time. I'm going to share that screen to my website. Okay, perfect. There we go. We're back live. So on this page, as you scroll down, you can go through and you can read samples. You can see what we have on the home page. We have sample pages from the book, and then it goes through. And with this, something fun I'm going to be doing this week, everyone who purchases the PDF copy, so if you actually buy the PDF copy, you will receive not only the musical realm, but you will receive a free PDF copy of Sweet Melancholy. And for this week, I'm going to give you all of the PDF books from the Cool Song series. So that's over 240 or 250 plus cool songs that I've composed. Cool Songs Primer Level, Book 1, Book 2, Book 3, Cool Songs That Rock, Sea Fever, Adventure Awaits, Triumphant. I mean, all of the books that are in that Cool Song series, plus the videos that go along with it, you will have access to all of those. So if you have piano students, tell them to come this week and buy The Musical Realm for $6.95 on my website, and then they will get access to everything. It's one of the best deals that I'm giving and offering people. What I thought I would do, since we're launching and I'm excited about this launch, what I'd like to do is every day this week, I'm going to go live probably around this time period. It may be a little later, it may be a little earlier, but I'm going to go live every day this week and I'm going to read one chapter from this book. So today I thought I'd go live and I'm going to read chapter 1. And then tomorrow we'll read chapter 2. And then by the end of the week, we will have read the first 5 chapters from the book. So this is The Musical Realm. It is titled Look to the Light and Listen to the Music Within. Now, on the back of the book, it gives a brief synopsis about the book. Again, this is available from Amazon. You can buy the Kindle version, the paperback, the hardback copy. It's available on all platforms. Wherever you buy books, it is available there. Now, this is what it says on the back of the book. Let me read this, and then I'm going to read chapter 1 from this book to everyone right now. And then tomorrow I will read chapter 2 and we'll continue on until I've read the first 5 chapters of the book. But let me read the back of the book right here. It says the following. During his first piano lesson, Matthew, a 13-year-old boy, tells his new piano teacher, Mr. Darius, that he hates practicing the piano. The mysterious old piano teacher smiled slyly and proclaimed, "As I said before, you will never truly enjoy practicing or playing the piano until you get inside the music." Puzzled, Matthew asked Mr. Darius what he meant. All of a sudden, the sheet music on the piano in front of him began to glow. The sound of thunder echoed from the music, and then a misty fog arose from the tattered and torn pages and then mystically and magically filled the room. Without any warning, lightning burst from the music with a loud crack and immediately illuminated the room. All at once, multicolored beams of light instantly shot out from the old piano music in every direction. Various hues of color and dust that Matthew thought must be fairy dust or something similar to it floated around the room. "What is happening, Mr. Darius?" Matthew screamed in terror. "This is the start of your first piano lesson, Matthew. You are finally going to get inside the music and discover what it is all about once and for all." "My young friend," yelled Mr. Darius over the howling wind and the mysterious screams coming from within the music, "it's time you learn the eternal importance of music, and you can only do so within the musical realm," explained Mr. Darius matter-of-factly. He smiled slyly, almost mischievously, and winked with his left eye. With that, Matthew was sucked into the musical score and instantly disappeared. Matthew enters a series of worlds unlike any he has ever seen before. His adventures take him on a search for the 7 sacred seraphs. the keepers of music. His only hope of getting home is to find the council of creativity and bring peace and order to the musical realm. Matthew learns how to look to the light and listen to the music within. He learns about the power of faith and overcoming the darkness of his fears. Now, that is what is on the back of the book. That is the little synopsis, quick summary. It's not the summary of the book, but it's the back cover. And that tells you what happens. Matthew is a piano student. He's 13 years old, just finished 7th grade. He'll be starting 8th grade in a few months. He's almost 14. And he started piano lessons with a new mysterious piano teacher named Markham Darius. And Markham Darius lives in this castle-like manor. And so I'm going to read about that in chapter 1 today. During Matthew's first piano lesson, Matthew gets sucked inside the musical score and then enters the musical realm. So today I'm going to read chapter 1, which is titled Into the Music. Tomorrow I'm going to read chapter 2. And then Wednesday will be chapter 3, Thursday will be chapter 4, and Friday I'm going to read chapter 5 from this book. There are 20 chapters in this book. I would love to have you either purchase the Kindle version from Amazon or the paperback or the hardback copy on Amazon. You can also buy it on any platform, or you can go to my website, musicmotivation.com. Every day we are going to be giving away 5 free PDF copies this entire week. Now, in order to enter to win, of course, you will need to go to my website and enter that information. And I'll explain that at the end for those who have missed, but I already explained it a little earlier in this stream. So right now, I would like to read from the musical realm. I'm going to read the first chapter from the book for you. And again, I'll show you this right here. This is the musical realm. Look to the light and listen to the music within. And it talks about the 7 sources of spiritual strength. This entire book, why I wrote this book, of course, it's a wonderful story. It's the first book in a series, the Musical Realm series. There are 5 books in the series. This is book 1. So the entire focus of this book in the series is look to the light and listen to the music within. On the back, it talks about how this is a teen and young adult, right there, teen and young adult Christian fantasy, or a teen and young adult Christian action and adventure book. Well, in this book, there are 7 sources of spiritual strength that are discussed and talked about. The entire book is a motivational, inspirational book. And so the 7 sources of spiritual strength: 1, have faith and hope; 2, be wise and be brave; 3, have courage, endeavor to do what is right at all times; 4, live life to the fullest, appreciate, respect, and trust nature; 5, be pure, turn to the light, and avoid being consumed by darkness; 6, love everyone, there is goodness within everyone; 7, be enlightened by the good in life. Now, this was dedicated to my children with all my love, and dedicated to my beautiful wife, Zanny, my family and friends. I love you all. I hope you all find the wonderful adventures that await you in life. Continue to look to the light and always listen to the music within. And then we have the copyright page, and then we go to the table of contents page. And then we have a brief bio page about the author. And then we start with chapter 1, where we jump into the music. So let me read this to you. This is chapter 1, Into the Music, and I'm going to read chapter 1 for you today. The clock on the wall must have been broken. Time seemed to stand still, and the last few minutes of Matthew's English class felt like an eternity of endless boredom. He loved English and writing, but this class and this particular teacher had been extremely difficult for him. He couldn't wait for school to end. It was all he could think about. Hopefully, this summer would be better. He needed to get away from everything and everyone. This school year had been horrible. Last year, all the sixth graders were on top of the world and ruled the elementary school. They knew they were kings and queens of their castle. All the younger children looked up to them. Some feared them, but most wanted to be kings and queens too. This year, especially for Matthew and many of the other seventh graders, it was worse than anyone could possibly have imagined. No one told them how bad things could really be in junior high. All seventh graders had been dethroned and were now worse than peasants or even servants. They had all been enslaved and subjected to a crazy school society where each grade bullied the grade below them, teasing, mocking, and making fun of everyone. No one was safe. Unfortunately, seventh graders were at the bottom and were bullied by everyone. At least, Matthew had been. Every day, students were treated as unintelligent rejects by the teachers. It didn't seem like the teachers even wanted to teach, and they definitely did not like teenagers. Since everyone but Matthew had a cell phone, they could all make fun of each other on social media and share embarrassing photos and videos they took when people didn't know they were being videoed. In a way, Matthew was grateful he wasn't on social media, so he couldn't see the mean memes others had created about him. Thankfully, this was his last day of seventh grade before the summer break began. He had many wonderful plans for the next few months, and the last 5 minutes of school felt like a lifetime prison sentence. His classroom even felt cold and damp, like a prison cell. What made it worse is that he thought his teacher looked like a prison warden, but not as nice and definitely not as friendly as a warden might be in dealing with actual convicts, criminals, and prisoners. The students were treated much worse by Miss Hannibal, a fitting name given her poisonous personality and the evil eye she gave every student who did anything she didn't like. That happened daily. Her breath alone could kill a student in under a minute if anyone dared get close enough to smell it. When she taught the students the next vocabulary word of the day, halitosis, everyone looked at each other and knew Halitosis Hannibal would be her new nickname. No one ever called her that to her face for fear of dying a slow and painful death. If her breath didn't kill you, Hannibal would make sure you lived a life sentence of seclusion, servitude, and sadness. She was just plain old mean. Matthew didn't feel like he fit in, and even though he tried to be like everyone else, he knew he wasn't the coolest or smartest one. He didn't really even enjoy any of the clubs or organizations and wasn't very athletic. It didn't help that he was a little shy and didn't have any friends except for Arthur. Both Matthew and Arthur liked playing science fiction or fantasy-themed board games together. They loved reading teen sci-fi fantasy thrillers and were even trying to create their own sci-fi comic book adventure series of different worlds and creatures. Matthew was writing the script and creating the characters, and then Arthur would draw them. Matthew loved writing stories. Arthur was an amazing artist, even though he was very shy and rarely shared his artwork with anyone. They were currently in the process of coming up with names of new superheroes and were even thinking of starting a Christian comic book business when they entered high school. They were both from very religious and good Christian families, and they wanted to create uplifting and faith building or faith promoting books and resources for others. Matthew loved writing stories about good versus evil and right versus wrong. He knew life wasn't always like that, and he knew he also hadn't been even really experienced very much of life, being so young, but he still felt he could make a difference in the world. They still had a few years to fine-tune their skills. The only thing Matthew could do, besides school and writing, was play the piano a little. His parents had forced him to start playing the piano when he was almost 10 years old, so he had taken lessons for the last 3 years. It was exciting at first, but the excitement quickly wore off. And besides, no 13-year-old boy really wants to be known for playing the piano or openly admit that he knows how to play the piano anyway, even if only a little. As soon as the last bell rang, everyone ran out of the junior high as quickly as they could. All of the jocks walked down the hall in one massive group, talking about training over the summer for the football team, while the popular kids invited each other to a big end of the year party at Suzanne's house. She was the most popular girl in 7th grade, and also the prettiest. Everyone liked her, and she was really nice to everyone. She had even smiled and said hello to Matthew a few days ago, which shocked him because no one ever talked to Matthew at all. Matthew waited in front of the school by the south entrance to the gym for his mom to pick him up from school. He usually waited there because not too many kids were picked up by their parents on the south side of the school, and also because he tried to hide from Dexter, a mean school bully, and his little group of wannabe gang members who had picked on Matthew several times. One time, they even threw him in a trash can head first. It was awful. It was an experience Matthew would never forget. As soon as Matthew saw his mother pull up in her used, but new to her, 4-door sedan, he ran as fast as he could and jumped in. As he did so, he bumped his head on the roof of the car. He hoped no one at school noticed. Him. "Are you okay, honey?" Matthew's mother asked. "That looked like it really hurt. You're getting so tall lately." "I'm fine, Mom," Matthew insisted. "Don't worry about it. Just take me home now, and please don't ask any of your probing questions and embarrass me like you usually do. I'm just glad today is over," he added abruptly. Matthew's mother, Leilani, was a sweet and gentle woman who was kind to everyone but could ask a lot of questions and loved to talk a lot. But something about the way Matthew was acting told her she needed to give him his space. She could tell that trying to get her son to open up and share his feelings at this moment was a big mistake and not something he would allow her to do even if she tried. As the car started, they slowly drove home in silence. Matthew turned on the radio and heard his new favorite instrumental techno pop song, Renegade, from the album Effortless, performed by a lesser-known indie band he had recently discovered. He sighed a sigh of relief and whispered, "Finally, the one good thing about today." Since it was the last day of school, the students had an early out day and were home by 1 p.m. After an hour or two of listening to instrumental soundtrack music, Matthew came out of his room and realized he was starving. Like most teenagers, he was always hungry. Why don't we have any good food in this fridge?" Matthew yelled out loud. "We never have anything I want to eat in this house," he continued. "Where's the candy, chips, and other good snack food? I'm hungry, people." Matthew would often yell out loud to no one in particular. It was usually more for dramatic effect. His parents and friends joked that Matthew was letting the hidden beast within him come out. "Since when are we called people?" Leilani asked with a wry smile. She laughed, but was only slightly amused. "If you are talking to anyone in this house, we do have names, Matthew. Besides, you know we are trying to eat more healthy foods, and the snacks you want to eat are anything but good for you. Have an apple or an orange. There are also some bananas on the counter you could eat. I don't think they are too ripe yet. You could eat them with cottage cheese. I think it's one of the best snacks around. Try it." Matthew's mother always tried to put a positive spin on everything, even trying to make healthy food sound more appealing when every teenager knows it's not. Yeah, right, Matthew scoffed. Like I would actually eat any of that junk you call food. Food. I just need a good candy bar or even some potato chips. Fruits and vegetables are for weird health nuts. I'm heading outside anyway, and I might see if Arthur has any good snack food at his house. We're going to play a new game called Knights of the Underworld today at 4. So I'm going to head out a little early and get some fresh air. I really need to clear my mind anyway. Sorry, Matthew, but you'll actually need to cancel your game with Arthur and see if you can do that tomorrow. You have a piano lesson at 4 today, Leilani said, shrugging her shoulders and giving Matthew a sympathetic half smile. Mom, how could you? You know I hate the piano. I told you I'm done with piano lessons. I already told you and my piano teacher that I want to quit. I hate practicing the piano, and no one even likes playing the piano anymore. It's not cool at all, Mom. Maybe a keyboard would be a little cooler because of the fun sound effects. But most of the cool kids I know don't play any instruments at all. The ones who actually do play cool instruments like the electric guitar or the drums and not the piano. Besides, Mrs. Thompson is a boring piano teacher and only has me practice stupid scales and dumb piano exercises, followed by lame classical music by composers who died hundreds of years ago. No one cares about that music or even listens to it anymore. I don't learn any cool songs or essential piano exercises anyway. Mrs. Thompson wouldn't even know cool sounding music if it hit her on the head. Let's be honest, Mom. No one really cares about music, especially dumb piano lessons, playing piano music that isn't even fun to play anyway, Matthew confessed in a "this is the way it's going to be" statement. I forgot to tell you, we found a new piano teacher who has been highly recommended by your current piano teacher, Mrs. Thompson, and by several other piano teachers in the area as well, Leilani responded, without allowing Matthew to speak. Apparently, she continued, he is one of the best piano teachers in the area, and people say he is absolutely wonderful and primarily works with teenagers and adults. He usually has a long waiting list, but he was able to work us in and wants to meet you. When I told him about you and how talented you are on the piano, he was very excited to meet you. You better get ready. Your dad and I are going to take you to your first piano lesson with your new piano teacher. We both want to be there with you today. We're going to leave in just a few minutes, sweetie, Leilani admonished. This was by far the worst day ever, absolutely horrible. Matthew wondered how his mom could sign him up for piano lessons with a new, boring piano teacher. It was unthinkable. How dare she? Why would she even do such a thing? And she didn't tell him or even ask him if he wanted to keep taking piano lessons. It wasn't fair. He hated everything to do with the piano and continued to tell his mom and piano teacher that. But they still insisted that he had talent and he would regret not playing the piano one day. So many thoughts went through Matthew's mind that everything felt like it was spinning around him. He even started to feel a little nauseous. The car ride to Matthew's new piano lesson seemed to take hours. Leilani tried to offer words of encouragement, but she could tell Matthew didn't really want to talk, so they drove on in silence for most of the trip. I know you'll love this new piano teacher, Matthew. Everyone seems to rave about how amazing he is, said Matthew's dad. Mark, I don't think Matthew really wants to talk about anything right now. We can just enjoy the lovely scenery as we travel, Leilani whispered, trying to change the topic. Mark looked at Leilani, and the two gave each other that look parents usually give one another when they're both thinking the same thing, but no one wants to say anything out loud, especially when the children are present. So instead, he and Leilani talked about every wonderful thing that had happened to them during the day. They played a getting to know you game. They liked to play with each other, and when they had asked each other enough questions about their favorite likes and interests, then they each said what they were most grateful for and recounted their blessings of the day and past week. It was something Mark and Leilani liked to do to try and bring out the best in each other. They tried to always have an attitude of gratitude, as Leilani would say. "I really thought I was done with piano lessons," whispered Matthew to himself. "I don't want to do this, and I wish I could be anywhere else but here," he muttered under his breath. "From what you've told me," Matthew continued, but now raising his voice so everyone could hear him, "this piano teacher doesn't really sound all that amazing at all. Sure, it may be a little different because I've never had a male piano teacher before, but he really doesn't sound all that different from any of my previous two piano teachers. I think if you have taken lessons from one piano teacher, then they are all the same." "But Mom, don't you think Markham Darius is such a weird name for anyone, especially some lame old piano teacher? I know your name is Mark, Dad, and you like it, but the piano teacher's name is Markham Darius, and it just sounds weird and like it's a made-up name or something." Matthew shook his head expectantly, waiting for his parents to reply, but they never did. He imagined how dorky and stoic-like this new piano teacher must look. "I'm sure this piano teacher will be just as dumb as my other teachers, but probably really weird, too." Matthew mumbled the last part under his breath, half hoping his parents didn't hear him, but inwardly hoping they did. After what seemed like an eternity going through a canyon and driving past never-ending corn and wheat fields and quaint little old farms, Matthew and his parents turned down a cobblestone road that led to what appeared to be a forest in the middle of nowhere. It seemed almost fantasy-like, with flowers and fruit trees lining the majestic old road. Mark and Leilani both rolled down their windows to get a better look at their surroundings. Matthew did too. At the end of the street was a beautiful iron gate with a manor or mini castle-like building behind it. There were several smaller buildings surrounding the manor that appeared to be woodsheds, greenhouses, or other important farm-like buildings, but Matthew didn't see any signs of farm animals anywhere. There were, however, birds everywhere, and you could hear them chirping and singing. They were beautiful, and some were even exotic looking, like something Matthew had seen when he went on a recent family trip to Cancun, Mexico, with his parents last year. The sounds of the forest seemed to come alive, and Matthew could hear a brook in the distance and even felt a gentle breeze that rustled the leaves of the surrounding trees. There even seemed to be a faint buzzing that must have been the bees. It all made sense with how much nature there was away from the small city where Matthew lived. Ornate trees, green bushes, and flowers seemed to effortlessly grow everywhere. "Is this where Mr. Darius lives?" whispered Matthew in disbelief. Leilani was oohing and awing as the majestic gates opened up, almost as if on cue. It was an impressive sight to see. There were breathtaking fountains and man-made waterfalls that cascaded down into little streams with wooden bridges over them and brick wells around them. In the distance, there were various garden areas filled with exquisite fruit trees, bountiful berry bushes, vegetables, and several old moss-covered brick grow boxes. The well-worn rock paths were overgrown on all sides. They had creeping, colorful bushes that featured multicolored leaves with the darkest green moss growing in between each of the buried boulders. In the distance, There were endless fields of flowers of every kind. It looked like what Matthew imagined the Garden of Eden must have looked like. It was breathtakingly beautiful. As the car pulled up in front of the manor, a kind, grandfatherly-like man, who must have been the gardener or caretaker, looked up from his kneeling position. He instantly stopped pulling weeds in one of the flower beds and slowly stood up. He quickly came over to Mark and Leilani, who had already opened the car doors, and began looking around the garden in awe. Everything was enchanting. "Is this where Mr. Markham Darius lives?" Leilani asked the question in such a sweet and sincere way, but also questioned that this could be the home of a local piano teacher. My. "Look how the time has escaped me," the gardener said. "I do apologize for not being prepared to properly greet you," he continued. "But you see, my garden called to me, and I cannot forsake the work that must be done. I owe that much to her. I must always endeavor to do the best I can to make a little difference in the world around me." He had a slight smile and a twinkle in his eye as he spoke. "Are you Markham Darius, the wonderful piano teacher we've heard so much about?" asked Leilani unsurely. Mark and Leilani both looked at each other in disbelief. "We apologize," Mark interjected, "but we thought you might be the gardener or the caretaker of this manor." Mark spoke with an apologetic tone, hoping they hadn't offended Mr. Darius by mistaking him for a common gardener. "I don't know about the wonderful part, but yes, my dear friends, I am he. I have taught piano lessons for many years and continue to hope I can help our next generation of musical maestros. I live alone in this home and am both the caretaker and gardener of this estate. My beautiful wife, Faith, and I have had many wonderful years here, and we both love the miracle of seeing new life spring forth from the earth, which is why we have so many trees, flowers, and green gifts from God all around us. My dear Faith passed away a few years ago, but I try to keep the garden growing in her honor," said Mr. Darius tenderly. He almost whispered the last sentence and was a little choked up. He seemed to be a very tender-hearted man. "Great. So you're an old hermit living out here by yourself," Matthew blurted out sarcastically, without realizing he was speaking out loud. "Matthew, apologize at once," shouted Leilani. She was mortified. "I'm sorry, I didn't realize I said that out loud," Matthew said as he looked down at the ground and grabbed his upper left shoulder with his right hand, not wanting to look at anyone, especially Mr. Darius. "That's okay. It's all true. I'm very old and hermit-like, I guess," responded Mr. Darius. "Even though Faith died a few years ago, her spirit is still here and everywhere. I have faith with me at all times, and I have faith in our eternal future together. Her music lives on in everything she touched and everyone she met. You see, Matthew, music is life, and everything around us needs the power of music to survive. Without it, even the planets and stars would fall out of alignment. It's in the air we breathe and deep within the soil on which we stand. If you close your eyes and endeavor to listen closely, you will hear the beautiful music the earth lovingly shares with us. You can hear it in the bustling breeze and the babbling brook. It's in a thunderstorm and each sunrise and sunset. You can hear it from the birds, the insects, the animals, and even each little flower who sings a sweet little melody." Matthew rolled his eyes and gave his dad an "I'm bored out of my mind" look. Mark just looked at Matthew and shook his head a little from side to side, but didn't say anything. Music is all around us, continued Mr. Darius. It is in us, and everything moves forward according to the power and order of music. Life is sustained by the music, by the mystical and magical tones of each musical note. You may not think so right now, but I promise you that after our music lesson together today, you will never look at music the same way again. There is a realm of musical greatness that governs the good and bad we experience in life each day. A council of creative forces work together on our behalf to ensure the sanctity of our society. Mr. Darius finished speaking and stared at Matthew. He was very serious and solemn. Matthew knew this was going to be a dumb lesson. After listening to Mr. Darius go on and on about how music is in us and all around us and every other blah statement he had made. How could his parents do this to him? What were they thinking? Did they want to punish and torture him? Why couldn't he live a normal life like other kids who didn't have to play an instrument at all? Why must he be punished by having to play the piano while his friends all played sports? It wasn't fair. It was pathetic, actually. This lesson was going to be pure pain and anything but fun. Matthew looked at the watch on his skinny wrist and hoped time would somehow speed up a little, if only for the next hour. Mr. Darius led Mark, Leilani, and Matthew into the manor, which was more museum-like than a home. Matthew felt like he was walking toward a torture chamber. It was filled with beautiful artwork on the walls, ornate statues, and flower arrangements, both live plants and freshly cut flowers. It smelled heavenly, and everything felt peaceful and still, although Matthew would never actually admit that to anyone out loud. After a few excruciating minutes of chatting and getting to know each other a little better, and asking Matthew to demonstrate what he knew how to play on the piano, Mr. Darius told Mark and Leilani they could explore the garden grounds for the next hour during the piano lesson. They were told they were welcome to sit in on the lesson, or they could look around the house and the adjacent library. Feeling comfortable with the situation, Mark and Leilani told Matthew they would be in the library or out back in the garden if he needed them. Of course, Matthew hated it when anyone listened to him play piano anyway, so he was glad they decided to leave. "So, what do you want to learn today, Matthew?" asked Mr. Darius. He looked earnestly into Matthew's eyes, but saw there was a nothingness there. Matthew just looked down at the floor. He was completely expressionless, and there was even a somber sadness about him. Matthew didn't reply. After a minute of silence, Mr. Darius asked, "Matthew, do you even like the piano or music at all? Do you actually want to be here? Go on, you can be honest with me. It won't hurt my feelings at all, my boy," said Mr. Darius frankly. At first, Matthew hesitated, but then he felt strangely prompted to speak up for himself and honestly share his feelings. He didn't know why, but he felt he could be open and honest with Mr. Darius. "To be completely honest," Matthew began, "I don't even know why my parents brought me to meet you. No, I don't want to play the piano. I don't think I have ever truly enjoyed playing piano at all. I absolutely hate practicing the piano. I actually hate everything about the piano. And I've wanted to quit for years, but my mom wouldn't let me. It's not cool to play a musical instrument, especially the piano." No one actually likes to practice, and anyone who is actually good enough to play any songs on the piano has been brainwashed into thinking it's actually fun. The only thing worse than that is to play in the band or orchestra. Everyone makes fun of musicians. Everyone thinks you're weird and you're a social outcast if you play an instrument. That's why. That's just the way it is. Besides that, music lessons are so boring. I think they are stupid and a complete waste of my time. I didn't like taking lessons from my former teacher either. So I honestly don't know why I need to pretend like I enjoy the piano when I don't. I'm sorry if I've offended you, but I hate the piano, and this lesson won't do any good anyway, replied Matthew honestly. Matthew was shocked by what he just confessed out loud in front of Mr. Darius, someone who was an adult and technically a complete stranger. Usually, he never spoke his mind, especially when speaking with adults. For some reason, he felt like he could tell the truth and share his feelings. It felt good to be honest and open for a change. Matthew folded his arms, and Mr. Darius instantly knew there would be no piano playing today. Thank you for being honest, my young friend, Mr. Darius replied. It takes courage to admit the truth, even if you are afraid to do so and don't fully understand what the truth actually is and can only see the world from your own limited perspective. I think I now understand the problem, Matthew. All this time, you have felt forced to learn to play the piano, not because you want to, but because your parents want you to, and in part because your previous piano teachers have encouraged you to do so. That is the wrong reason for playing the piano, my friend, or any instrument for that matter. It does not help anyone, and you will never learn to love music if that is your reason for being here. You have all these bottled up emotions and negative feelings about playing the piano because you think of it as practicing the piano. It has become drudgery for you. The two are actually very different, yet one in the same. Matthew looked out the window and saw his parents walking around outside, admiring the beautiful garden. At that moment, he wished he could be with them instead of listening to Mr. Darius. You have not yet learned to lose yourself in the music, continued Mr. Darius, or allow the music to transport you to mystical and magical destinations. I assure you, Matthew, that adventure awaits you. If you will learn everything you can about music and the musical world that awaits you, it's calling to you, but you cannot hear it yet because you have not yet learned to listen to the music within you. Learn to trust yourself and don't be afraid to do difficult things. Matthew didn't respond or react at all, so Mr. Darius continued speaking. You need to be excited about everything you do each day. Let me ask you, what dreams do you have? Do you even know? You cannot live life in the shadows of dreams others have dreamed for you. If you do not know how to dream in the first place and don't even have any dreams of your own, then you will never truly be happy in life. Dreams of a better tomorrow can often help you to better bear the trials and tragedies of today. Matthew immediately thought of moments when his dad would try to motivate him or encourage him to dream big dreams and set goals for the future. Mr. Darius was making a little too much sense and sounded like he had been taking motivational lessons from Matthew's dad or vice versa. I believe the problem is not that you hate the piano at all, or music in general, Matthew, remarked Mr. Darius as he looked more intensely, directly into Matthew's eyes, but rather that you have not yet learned how to live life to the fullest and love the life you live. You do not yet know how to wake up each morning eager to accomplish everything you intentionally have planned to do that day because you said you wanted to do it. You have no goals or ambitions because you don't know what you want out of life. You don't even really know what you like and don't like. So instead, you think you dislike everything that is placed before you. I believe you do this because you haven't done very many difficult things before and you won't invest the time and energy required to learn how to do things correctly so you can challenge yourself to improve and grow, exclaimed Mr. Darius sharply. He had even raised his voice a little and spoke with such earnestness and complete conviction. Wait a minute. Matthew yelped out an audible gasp in shock at what Mr. Darius had just said. I didn't come here to have some old geezer criticize me and tell me what they think I do and don't know. You can't speak to me that way. Matthew snapped. He was understandably upset, but he was proud of himself for speaking out and sticking up for himself. Someone had to defend him. He did instantly feel apologetic, though, for calling Mr. Darius an old geezer, even if he was one. When youth are told the truth, they point their finger in embarrassment and shame and cry, "Life is unfair," Mr. Darius responded. If you are truly angry, you should be angry with yourself for not knowing yourself better and deciding what you want out of life. You have no one to blame for your own failures when you have been given every opportunity to succeed but haven't wanted to. You always have a choice in life, and you can choose to challenge yourself to be better or not do anything at all. It's your choice. Challenge yourself to change for the better each day. I usually tell students they can be better or bitter. You decide. It's your decision, but you must make it. I don't want you to play piano because I want you to, or because your parents want you to, or even to impress any other friends or peers for that matter. You must want to play the piano because you want to. Your parents and your previous piano teacher all say you have talent. Do you believe you have talent? Do you want to improve your natural talent and become better? It takes hard work, commitment, and dedication. Do you want to challenge yourself as you have never challenged yourself before? Do you want to push yourself beyond your own perceived limitations and truly experience the adventure of a lifetime each and every time you get into the music and allow the music to get inside you? You need to answer these questions for yourself, Matthew. Mr. Darius was very intense and almost sage-like as he spoke these words. What do you mean by get into the music and allow the music to get inside me? Matthew asked inquisitively. What are you talking about? He asked out loud, not really speaking to Mr. Darius per se, but almost questioning everything that was happening. Matthew felt like he needed to prove to this new piano teacher what he had already accomplished on the piano so far, and how much he already knew, if only to convince Mr. Darius that he knew quite a bit on the piano and didn't really need to learn anything else. Matthew may not have been a phenomenal concert pianist, but he could at least play a few songs on the piano and knew most of his scales and chords in most key signatures. Matthew turned around on the old piano bench and began playing some octave chords on the piano as a quick warm-up. As he pushed the keys down, a gust of wind blew against his face. It seemed to come from the sheet music on the piano in front of him, but that couldn't be. That couldn't be true, could it? What just happened? I played some chords on the piano, and then I felt wind blowing me back from inside the sheet music on the piano. Is that even possible? How can that be? Asked Matthew awkwardly. Matthew quickly turned around to face Mr. Darius. But then just as quickly looked back at the sheet music on the piano to see what would happen next. It was an old, tattered and torn advanced piano piece that had yellowed considerably with age. It looked very old, maybe even a few hundred years old. Matthew had never heard of the piece before, or the composer, for that matter. He began trying to sight read the new adventurous piano music. It was difficult to play, but it sounded fascinating, even though Matthew knew he was making several mistakes. The mysterious old piano teacher smiled slyly and proclaimed, "As I said before, you will never truly enjoy practicing or playing the piano until you get inside the music." Puzzled, Matthew asked Mr. Darius what he meant. All of a sudden, the sheet music on the piano in front of him began to glow. The sound of thunder echoed from the music, and then a misty fog arose from the tattered and torn pages, and then mystically and magically filled the room. Without any warning, lightning burst from the music with a loud crack and immediately illuminated the room. All at once, multicolored beams of light instantly shot out from the old piano music in every direction. Various hues of color and dust that Matthew thought must be fairy dust or something similar to it floated around the room. "What is happening, Mr. Darius?" Matthew screamed in terror. "This is the start of your first piano lesson, Matthew. You are finally going to get inside the music and discover what it is all about once and for all, my young friend," yelled Mr. Darius over the howling wind and the mysterious screams coming from within the music. "It's time you learn the eternal importance of music, and you can only do so within the musical realm," explained Mr. Darius matter-of-factly. He smiled slyly, almost mischievously, and winked with his left eye. With that, Matthew was sucked into the musical score and instantly disappeared. That is the end of chapter 1. Tomorrow I'm going to read chapter 2 for everyone. We'll go live tomorrow on all my social media accounts. Again, this is my book, The Musical Realm. I just read chapter 1. Every day this week, I'm going to read one chapter from this book. There are 20 chapters in the book. I'm going to read the first 5 chapters from this book. Every day I will read one chapter, and then every day I'm going to select 5 winners who will receive a free PDF copy from this book, and I'm going to select one winner who will receive a paperback copy of this book that I will mail out to you and ship to you for free. Every day, there will be 5 winners who will receive a free PDF copy, and one winner every day this week who will receive a paperback copy. In order for you to enter to receive a free PDF copy, you need to go to my website. And again, if you go to musicmotivation.com, let me share the website here again as a reminder. If you go to musicmotivation.com, on the homepage right here, and I'll share the homepage, this is what happens on the homepage of musicmotivation.com. At the very top of the homepage, before it gets into my cool songs and essential piano exercises, it has the image for the musical realm. Again, just type in musicmotivation.com. This page will pop up. When you click on the musical realm, this page is what will pop up. Let me share this page right here for you. This page will pop up and it says enter to win a free PDF copy. As you go to enter to win a free PDF copy, all you do, enter your email, click Get Access Now. When you do so, then you will have the page that will open up for you which will be, let me actually get rid of that. This page right here, you will be able to download the sample PDF copy book right there. It's the first 2 chapters that will be sent to you from the book. You'll be able to read it instantly. If you want to, you can scroll down and you can actually purchase the PDF copy of the book for $6.95 from my website, but you can also buy the Kindle version. This week it's on sale for 99 cents, which is fantastic. So again, you can go, I'm going to share this page. I'd love to have you go to Amazon this week, add this book, The Musical Realm, to your wish list. You can purchase either the Kindle version for 99 cents, the paperback version for $14.95, or the hardback copy for $21.95. Now, if you buy the paperback version, I just went and looked, and it says if you have Prime, if you order the paperback version, it will be there by Wednesday. And the hardback, I think, will be there by Wednesday or Thursday as well. So you can purchase that today. I would love to have you add this book to your wish list. I would love to have you add this book to your Goodreads list of books that you are wanting to read on Goodreads. But check it out. Again, you can go find out more about The Musical Realm. Every day this week, I'm going to be reading one chapter from the book. I would love to have you start reading this book, and I can't wait to have you find out what happens in the musical realm. Today, I read chapter 1, and Matthew met his new piano teacher, Mr. Markham Darius, and then he was sucked into the musical score to enter the musical realm. Tomorrow, I'm going to read chapter 2 of this book. There are 20 chapters in this book. Every day this week, I'm reading one chapter, so I'm going to read the first 5 chapters from this book. But I'd love to have you share this. If you can, share this video on your social media page. You can share my website, musicmotivation.com, with family and friends. I'd love to have as many people download the sample PDF. It only has the first 2 chapters, but I'd love to have you read the first 2 chapters of the book. And then again, every day this week, I am giving away 5 free PDF copies of this book. You can rewatch this video to find out how to enter to win one of the free PDF copies. And every day, I'm giving away 1 free paperback book. So go to my website, enter to win. I can't wait to have you read The Musical Realm. Look to the light and listen to the music within. Hope you have a great rest of your day. See you later. Thanks. Bye.